Good evening and welcome to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. We are live on Family TV and also live on Family Radio where the music does the talking. It is Wednesday. And trust me, today we're talking about an issue that affects you and me, because at some point, maybe you are a parent, and if you're not, then you will be parents, and we pray for that in Jesus' name. Well, we're talking about the new system of education. So Kenya right now, currently, has adopted to a new system, and in this system, skill development is key, and that is what the Ministry of Education is after, especially in the young toddlers. Well, competence-based curriculum. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe it just slipped your mind at some point and you did not even think that as children are going back to school, as the first term is actually picking up officially, the competence-based curriculum is on the top notch of the education system. Well, that is what we are talking about today in studio, putting in mind that the parental involvement is very key when it comes to this curriculum. And in studio, I have an educator by the name Joyce Tairu. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very rare for someone to ask, and you?
Wow.
Clearly, you are an educator.
Wow, thank you.
All right. So in your definition,
Yes.
what is competence-based curriculum?
Okay. Those are three words.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I will define the word competence.
Mm-hmm.
Competence has to do with how you apply knowledge and skills to meet a certain function.
Okay.
And now we have based curriculum. Curriculum is what we teach, based on national national education policies that is usually drawn from international policies on education. Yes.
So it's competence.
Yes.
Okay. I'm really trying to understand it from the lowest point of view.
Yes.
And there's something that is pointed out, and the Ministry of Education tried to bring it out completely.
Yes.
That this curriculum
Yes.
basically involves skill development.
Yes.
Is it right? And is it working? Maybe it has already been started until grade 4. Is it working?
Okay. Even as we think about whether it's working or not, the world is going towards that direction.
Yeah.
And we cannot be left behind because we know people on the streets who have a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge cannot be applied to do a certain function. And remember, I've said that competence has to be related to a function. So I think the world is going towards skills, and we cannot be left behind.
Okay.
I am very passionate about talking about the future of work. The future of work is not about knowledge.
Yeah.
It's about skills. When you go for an interview today, you're not asked what you know. You're asked what can you do.
Wow, and it's interesting because yesterday we were talking about the same skills and talents, especially in the industry, the job employment sector.
Yes.
And it's important to note that skills, if you don't have the skills right now, then it gets a bit hard.
That's true. That is true. You have to have skills. Even as you build your knowledge, we are insisting you have to build your skills also. Basically, those are twins. You cannot separate them.
Yeah.
For example, and I'm very excited about the new curriculum because it is actually marrying the two. In learning, we talk about 3 skills: knowledge, skills, and attitudes. And basically, we are just integrating the 3 and saying we do not want just knowledge for the sake of knowledge. We want knowledge that can be used to build skills, and those skills are applied to meet a certain function.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, for those maybe who do not understand the curriculum, I think we should help and break it down.
Yes.
Kidogo.
Yes.
So, in 1963 in our country, the education system had a curriculum which was going in this direction and these dimensions.
Yes.
So it was 7, 4, 2, 3.
Yes.
That is in 1963.
Yes.
And till 1985, then
Yes.
the 844 curriculum was picked up, right?
Yes, yes.
And that has been applied, and we have gone through it. People like me, maybe you.
Yes.
You have gone through the 844 system.
Yes.
And until last year,
Yes.
then we adopted the 266 3 curriculum.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this 266 curriculum. So
Yes.
this is how it applies. And maybe if you need more clarification, you should listen up.
Yes.
So the early year education, that is the pre-primary, we have 1, 2.
Yes.
That is the 2.
Yes.
Then we go to the 6, where we have the lower primary, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3.
Yes.
Then the middle, that is the upper primary,
Yes.
that is grade 4, grade 5, grade 6.
Yes.
Okay? Totaling to the first 6.
Yes.
Then we have the secondary school, what others would call the high school.
Yes.
We have the junior secondary, that is grade 7,
Yes.
grade 8, and grade 9.
Yes.
Then there is the senior school. And someone would say, we just watch this in the movies where there is the senior high school. That the senior school has grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12,
Yes.
making up the other 6
Yes.
of the curriculum.
Yes.
Then the 3 is the higher education.
Yes.
And this is where we get to the higher learning institutions, that is the campuses, the colleges.
Yes.
And remember, these years will also vary according to the course
Yes.
that a person is undertaking, right?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So this in total brings up the new system, that is 2663.
Yes.
And that is what we are doing right now.
That's
and
true.
up to now, it's being applied until grade 4.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you, and this is quite interesting, and it was a topic of discussion, at least for last year,
Yes.
where we could see our young toddlers in the streets with some gunias,
Yes.
and they have a homemade dustpan.
Yes.
Is that the new curriculum?
Wow, that is just part of the new curriculum. And it is all inclusive because we want to teach our children how to also take care of the environment.
Okay.
We want also them to learn how to be creative. For example, instead of parents going to the supermarket to buy for them brooms, they can be encouraged to come up with homemade brooms.
With the twigs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a boy who had made an overall using khaki material. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I said, wow, this is what we need because knowledge without all those other, parts of learning, becomes
Monotonous. Yeah.
becomes obsolete, is not applicable in life. Let these children be creative.
Okay.
And I think we are going back to where we started because when we were growing up, nobody bought for us toys. We used to make toys ourselves at home. Girls used to make balls. Boys used to make balls. Boys used to make
Cars. Using the wires.
Using wires.
Uh-huh.
And that is creativity. We need to fund into that, and I think that is part of what the new curriculum is doing.
Okay.
So when you see young children, making brooms, making wheelbarrows, to me that is something.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And does it involve the teachers
Of course.
and the pupils
Yes.
and the parents?
Sure.
Why? Why the parents?
Wow. I'm very excited about that question.
Yeah.
Parental engagement actually was what was happening those days. If you ask about your local primary school, the initial classrooms were actually built by the parents. The parents literally came and built the classrooms. Some of them even donated land. What do you call that? Parental engagement.
Yes.
I don't know at what point we decided now these children belong to the teachers.
And the ministry.
And the ministry.
Yeah.
And yet I will tell you as a teacher, I have 45 children in my class. So how am I going to be very keen about some specific issues? Because my goal is to teach curriculum. So I think we are going back. Let the parents carry the load. Those children belong to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll be talking about some of the challenges that the parents are saying they're facing because of the new curriculum.
Sure.
But let's go back a little bit. This new curriculum, which is competence-based.
Yes.
We have talked about a little bit of skills and creativity.
Yes.
So what else does it entail? Maybe for someone who's not very conversant with it.
Okay. It is what we are calling the 7 core competencies, which I like categorizing. When you categorize, you're able to grasp. The first category I will call it life skills. This is where the children are learning communication skills, because I can assure you, we are having graduates who cannot express themselves.
Well, that's true.
Graduates who cannot write.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I call them illiterate graduates.
Mm-hmm.
We want these children to learn how to communicate. We want them to learn how to collaborate.
Yeah.
We want that is one of the competencies. What is one of the competencies? Communication and collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Under the life skills now.
Under what I call the life skills.
Okay.
Then there is self-efficacy, belief in one's abilities.
Yeah.
You know, let these children know that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That is key. And of course, self-efficacy builds other things, builds self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, builds your self-esteem. When that child builds that, that homemade wheelbarrow, of course, with the help of the parent,
Mm-hmm.
they feel confident,
Mm-hmm.
self-confident. So those, I call that aspect or segment, the segment of life skills.
Okay.
Then there is the other segment I call higher order thinking skills.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, when I was growing up, my parents were very intentional about building my higher order thinking skills. Things like problem solving. You're left at home, you're 7 years old,
Mm-hmm.
you're left with the baby, you're left to cook, to fetch water, to milk the cows.
Mm-hmm.
You have to organize your thinking.
Yes.
But think about it today. People do not have those skills.
Mm-hmm.
So problem solving is the other pillar. Problem solving and critical thinking. Then the other competence. Then there is creativity and imagination.
Okay, I like that. And imagination.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This is where children are given scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
and they come up with creative ideas.
Yep.
They don't have to see something, they can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
For example, they can see a vehicle and they can imagine, what that is all about. I have a young man whose pictures I usually put on social media, who is coming up with, toys that look like real cars.
Mm-hmm.
That is imagination.
Okay.
Then that's what I'm calling higher order thinking skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an aspect that we have lost as Kenyans of citizenship.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that one I don't categorize it. It's unique on its own, stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So citizenship, this is being proud of being a Kenyan.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about global citizenship, is being proud of being in the world at such a time as this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. When you were growing up, we used to sing patriotic songs.
Yeah.
Kenya ni nchi yangu, Kenya ni mama yangu. And we feel happy, we feel proud.
Yes.
I have a friend of mine who tells me in another East African country, which I will not name, people will not talk openly against their nation the way we do as Kenyans.
Uh-huh.
If somebody from the media or international media comes and asks Kenyan, tell us about corruption, they will talk and talk and talk. In that other country, they will tell you, pengine iko lakini sijaisikia.
I think from that you already know which country, because you changed your language. Yeah.
Yeah, so citizenship, being proud of being a Kenyan.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear other people, the way they talk well about our nation, and us, we don't like our nation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other pillar is, of course, digital literacy.
Mm-hmm. So we are being creative and using whatever we have, but we also incorporate digital literacy.
Yes.
Interesting. Uh-huh.
Yes. These young people are digital citizens. They were born and found computers.
Mm-hmm.
So the best we can do is to just enhance their skills as far as digital literacy is all about. And that is one of the competence that the CBC is interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly is one that I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to learn.
Wow.
Learning to learn.
Mm-hmm.
The literate of the 21st century are not those who have learned. They are those who have learned, and they are willing to unlearn when need be, so that they may learn again.
Okay.
When they bring new technology in this studio, you cannot say, I already know
how to use the old one.
How to use the old one.
Yeah.
You have to now know we have new technology.
Mm-hmm.
You unlearn that so that you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know the skills we will need for the jobs of the year 2030.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about 2010.
Mm-hmm.
What we were doing in 2010 is not what we are doing now.
Mm-hmm.
The technology we were using in 2010 is not what we are using today.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? It means in the year 2030,
It will be different.
it will be different.
Yeah.
So who is going to survive?
Those who are learning to learn.
Those who are learning to learn.
Yeah.
And that is a very important competence at the CBC.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, as Joyce,
Yes.
do you think it has advantages?
Yes, it has
All
advantages.
that we have said aside, does
Yes.
it have more advantages?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
I'm sure you have seen on social media where an elephant, a tortoise, and other animals are queuing, and the examiner is seated there and has, questions, and he's taking through all the animals. He's taking the animals through the same questions, and they're expected to pass. You've passed. To me, now we are not thinking about classrooms or classes. We are thinking about the learner. And I'm very intentional about using that word, learner, because in the past we've been talking about teaching.
Yes.
Now, in the new curriculum, we don't talk about teaching. In the 21st century, we don't talk about teaching because the teacher is not the focus. The focus is the learner.
Yeah.
We actually use the word learner, and whoever you used to call a teacher is called a facilitator of learning. So it's about learning. We are talking about learning outcomes, not teaching outcomes,
Okay.
not teaching objectives. It's learning outcomes. Is the learner learning? The other thing that I'm very excited about, and I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I think I started thinking about CBC when I was a small girl in primary school.
Really?
Why? Because I used to be I'm still bright.
Yeah.
Do I say? And then there were two boys. I can remember we were in class 4. 2 boys who never used to, we used to be lined up according to positions, and that is something that is not happening with the CBC.
Oh, really?
So position 1, 2, and 3, and then up to the head. And
well, just let me just hold on that point,
Yes,
kidogo.
yes.
It took me back to when we were in primary school,
Yes.
and we would be put in sitting positions according to your number.
Yes.
It doesn't happen anymore?
No.
Wow.
It does not happen anymore. And that
Okay.
is, to me, very exciting. Because I used to think about those 2 boys. I still remember their names. That is how passionate that thing caught me then. They used to be number 1 when it comes to athletics. They were the best. But when it comes to learning, they were the last. What are you telling them? That they will amount to nothing.
Okay.
Yet they have things that we can develop. They have talents that can be developed. If I think about if CBC was there then, those 2 people might be very far away.
Okay.
I mean, far in their lives, because we would have enhanced their talents, not just thinking about, Joy is number 1, something like that.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Let me just remind you of what I used to learn in school.
yes,
Head, thorax, abdomen, and
Yes.
parts of a cockroach,
Yes.
The grasshopper, the locust.
Yes.
Yeah. And come to think of it, I've never used that knowledge anywhere.
yes.
What-
Many of us
Yeah.
learned so many things
Yeah.
that we might not use anywhere. And I think the beauty of this curriculum is that you are able to observe the learners and think about this learner is more, inclined towards this field. And then at, that senior school, they're able to start specializing. They're exposed to many things because, again, as a little girl, you will not be told, okay, fine, you'll be a journalist. Who would have known that? So you're exposed to many things such that you will not be disadvantaged.
Okay.
Let me say something about the current, whatever is happening in high schools. In some schools, children are discouraged from pursuing physics as a subject. By the way,
Yeah.
that is what I teach, so I'm very passionate about that.
Gumu, some would say. It's,
No,
it's a very
si
tough
gumu.
subject.
Sigumu, I'm
Yeah.
here. And you realize that this person has an interest in, let's say, engineering. Then they get to university, they get to choosing courses, they cannot choose engineering. Why? Because somebody disadvantaged them.
Yeah.
So I think we may not put a blanket condemnation on that, because actually as small children we need to expose people to different things so that we see where their inclinations towards.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So you may not be using head thorax, but who knew you would not become a doctor? You will not become a nurse, and you require those skills.
And that is what the new curriculum is focusing on.
Yes.
All right. So please help us understand, how different is it? Apart from now the values and the skills, is there any other major difference from what we learned?
Yes.
Yep.
The 844 basically focuses on content, you know, and we are asking, how much of the syllabus have you covered? You know, we want you to cover so much.
Yeah.
The new curriculum is think about competencies. What competencies have you acquired? You know, that is a very key difference. The other thing is about assessment. 844 was what we call a summative assessment. You do KCP and that's it.
Yep.
Nobody thinks about how you performed in class 6. Think about if, for example, somebody falls ill during KCPE and they get 100 marks. It's like you're condemned. The new curriculum actually balances between summative and formative assessment.
Okay.
So we carry forward, you know, performance. And remember, CBC is not examination oriented. And we do not give learners a numerical value that you scored 20%. We use words like you have achieved, you know, you have exceeded expectation.
So it's not pass and fail.
It's not pass and fail.
Okay.
You have exceeded expectation. You have met the expectation. You are approaching the expectation, or you are below expectation. It's not 20% or best in English.
So they don't wear the badge
No.
Okay.
We do not even categorize in your position 1, position 2. No.
All right.
It's an individual kind of assessment, and it is carried forward.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But this is a comment that we've received from the SMS line, and thank you so much for reaching out. You're saying CBC is expensive because my son, a 4th grader, just brought in a letter that they need progressive report book and a tablet. We bought 22 exercise books, not mentioning 9 textbooks. This is just one of the comments.
Okay.
So is it expensive?
CBC is expensive.
Wow. And you are admitting that CBC
Yes,
is expensive?
because it is not content based.
Okay.
We are not saying all the learners, you know, you have finished the curriculum. It is it's practical. We are talking about skills here. You know, think about technical institutions.
Yeah.
A lot of money is spent on infrastructural development. This is what we are talking about. You know, I would even urge the schools to be a bit considerate. When you tell parents to buy tablet for their children, I mean, how sure are you about the safety of that tablet?
So am I right to say that some schools are actually taking advantage of this new curriculum?
I would guess so.
To manipulate the parents?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, because I you know, for example, schools like high ed schools, they provide computers for their learners, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now probably somebody does not want to spend. They tell the children come with tablets. Whereas in some schools, you know, the learner is given work and they go home, then do with the parent, and they bring home, to school the project. So what is the point of them carrying a tablet to school? And that is my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it stands.
Yes.
Because I feel it's true. Some schools are taking advantage of this curriculum.
Yes, they can take advantage of that curriculum. And let us be sensitive. Let us be sensitive. We are on a transition, you know, and transitions are not easy.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for today's topic. I have a 4-year-old turning 5 later this year. She just joined PP1 and was not and has not been to school. Will she be able to adopt to the new curriculum? That is Judy from Kitengela.
Of course. You see, when you bring your children to school, we do not, we facilitators of learning, we do not assume that they know.
Yeah.
You know, we start from scratch. Okay. And I can assure you the child is going to adjust. Give him 2 weeks into school, you'll be amazed. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That is interesting to know.
Yes.
I also have, this must be John. Greetings. I'm loving the conversation.
Yes.
I'm glad that the new curriculum encourages learners to be specific, such that in high school they already know what area they want to pursue in college.
Yes.
However, could this be a disadvantage if what they specialize in does not work out yet? It is all they have studied.
Wow, that is a very good point. And I'd say that one of the competencies in the new curriculum is learning to learn. In fact, I'm very passionate about something we call the future of work.
Yeah.
We're saying in 10 years, what we are doing today is not what we will be doing.
It will be obsolete.
It will be obsolete.
Yeah.
In fact, what they are learning at the university today, I can say with a lot of confidence, will not be applicable probably by the time they graduate. You know, the world is highly dynamic, you know. But this person whose competence on learning to learn has been built, will be able to learn very quickly.
Okay.
And be able to move on. And the other thing is about talents development. Of course, you know, the Bible says that a man's gift makes a way for him and ushers him before great men. This is something that I'm very happy about, talents. You know, it is what is going to I mean, is what is going to remain when all is said and done. You know, your talent remains with you to the grave.
Okay.
So those are two things that we are actually thinking about developing.
Right.
So don't worry about what, as far as this person is getting ability to learn, then they are good. Yes.
There's an interesting question.
Yes.
Hi, please ask her how they're going to determine who goes to Starehe and Alliance School while there is no ranking of positions.
Wow.
So who determines? And how is that decision reached?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we are using, that's a very good question. And I've been seeing a lot of that on social media.
Yeah.
Because people, I think we've been conditioned to think that, you know, if my son goes to Alliance High School, to
Then
Starehe Boys High School, to those big high schools, national schools, then that's it, I'm done. But is that the reality on the ground? I will tell you as a university lecturer, vitu kwa ground
Ni different.
Ni different.
Yeah.
Ni different. So in essence, let me also say something that I really need to say. Building, by the way, you know, that learning is moving from institutions to digital learning.
Yeah.
You see now, you can take a course in Harvard, from Harvard University. What you need is only your phone. So why should we be so concerned about my son going to Alliance or to Starehe and have nothing against Pagani, have nothing against those big schools? Because at the end of the day, what we are interested in is the skills.
Okay.
And we need to understand from the employer's point of view. Do you know that Google has dropped the need to be a graduate to be recruited?
Yes, that's true. That's
And
the sad truth.
that is the truth. And I don't know whether people are, you know, have come, you know, to accept that.
Okay.
Most organizations are saying, are you willing to learn? Come. We do not need your degree.
Okay.
And that does not mean that people should be discouraged from going to university. But people should be encouraged to learn to learn. Lifelong learning is one of the things that CBC is, you know, employing. Learning to learn.
Okay. So if I'm getting you right,
Yes.
then it will reach a point
Yes.
with the new curriculum
Yes.
that a high-end school, what people call a high-end school,
Yes.
and my school in Ushago
Yes.
will be on the same level.
Okay, I'll not be quick to say that.
Yeah.
You realize that after senior school, we will have strands. You know, some people will go to arts, others will go to social sciences, and others will go to STEM. What the ministry is saying is that some schools will be for STEM.
Okay, specific schools.
Yes, specific schools are for STEM. That is those who are pursuing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yeah.
Some schools will be for preparing those students who want to join social sciences and business.
Okay.
Some schools will be for creativity, arts. And even further, you know, we are subdividing that. Arts is music, there is, you know, art and craft and so on. So as far as we know, what does this person need? We do not want to worry so much about where
they're going to study.
And I want to give an example of one of our athletes. You know, the YouTube man, Mr. Yego. Where did he build his skills? On throwing javelin. On YouTube.
Yep.
That is what we are talking about.
Okay.
You've realized that your talent is music. You go online and Google and get the best school in music, pay a few dollars, and learn music from the best.
Okay.
So I think we need to move from the old mentality of, you know, this and this class and this, and think about skills building, skills development. Yes.
Now I get the competence part of
Yes.
the curriculum.
Yes.
We're going to listen to some of the views from the street. So my producer, Jadil Kabiro, talked to you on the streets, and this is what you had to say, a replica of maybe what most parents are feeling about the new curriculum. So let's take a listen.
Okay.
I think parents should take their responsibility, because parenting involves everything about their kids. So.
Naona ni vizuri watoto wakikuja na hiyo assignment wafanye pamoja na parent juu first mtoto kuna kitu haelewi na maybe mzazi wake anaelewa kabisa, so wanasaidiana. Tena mtoto kuna kitu atasaidia mzazi wake yenye hakupitia, anaelewa, wanasaidiana wote wawili.
Mimi naunga mkono hiyo kitu ambayo walimu wana support watoto, ya kwamba wazazi wanafaa waweze kupatia pia, wazazi waweze kusupport watoto kwa vitu zingine za shule. Kama mimi mwenyewe huwa nasaidia watoto wangu kufanya homework na wasaidia ili ya kwamba waweze kuelewa msingi wao unapoanza vizuri.
The parents are partly involved. You pay and that is it. You don't know what goes on with your child. But if you fully participate, you know what is going on.
CBC is a competency-based curriculum which requires both the stakeholders to take part, the teachers and parents. So mostly teachers, the work of the teachers is to guide, then parents should also help the children during those assignments so that at least they can understand at home. You know, when they are talking to their parents, they can understand better than when they are talking to a teacher, because parents, they are very free with their parents, and again, they can be able to grasp things very fast. For example, when they are asked to make a ball, you see, when a parent is making that ball, it will be very simple for them, because they will understand it.
The curriculum is okay, it's all right, because I've gone through the other one, and I think we are lacking so many things. Yeah, so I think we should give it a try.
From my point of view, I think it's good because it is involving the parent and the teachers are the same. You're able to know what is going on with your child.
Well, that is your view, and some of the people were actually pointing out, and that is an interesting note on maybe where we should start from, Joyce.
Yes.
Someone pointed out that I have given my child over to school. Why would I also do the homework with them, make that dustpan with them? Why would parents be involved?
Wow.
Despite the fact that it's already expensive na inakamua pesa kutoka kwa mfuko yangu, I still have to sit down with my child and do their homework? Why?
Wow. That is a very important aspect of CBC. And I think part of what the policy makers were had in mind is what has been happening. Do you realize that parents were actually off their parental responsibility as far as children are concerned?
Okay.
They will blame teachers for anything and everything that is not right with their children. And I can assure you, as a teacher, I have so many children to think about. Don't have the time to think about your child individually. So I like what one speaker said. Let them be involved. And also, as they are getting involved, they are boarding.
parent and child.
Yes, they are
Okay.
bonding. They are spending time. They are bonding together, and also the child learns from the parent, and the parent also learns from the child. By the way, we can learn from anybody, and parents, if they are open-minded, and I'm pleading with the parents to be positive about this curriculum, because we are not going back. The train has already left the station.
Okay.
So you board the train. I mean, there is no point. You can't allow your child to go with the train alone. You know, you have to be there, and the system requires you to be involved. So when you are not involved, then of course your child loses out.
Do you personally believe that the involvement of the child is good, of the parent is good for the child?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You know, if you look at even the past, I believe you've read the story of Ben Carson. Why did Ben Carson thrive? Because of parental involvement. The mother decided to do a few things that she should have done, you know, from the beginning of the learning process of this young boy and his brother. And when she put her foot down, that is when progression happened.
Okay.
So parents should be involved. In fact, I don't know why they were not involved in the right in the in the past. You go for school meetings and you find parents have sent their drivers. They have sent their house helps, and you're wondering whose child is this? Whose child is this? It's your child. And let me tell you, I have taught for the last 23 years. How many thousands of children have I taught? Thousands, many. You know, but I have my own too. I'll be with them for the rest of my life. That is what you should consider. So
Okay.
parents, please be positive. You know, if we embrace this thing, it will become easy. But when we approach it from they are telling us, then we lose it. Let us be involved. Let us stop a lot of some of the activities that we've been involved in, you know, to spare time with these children and find out how are they doing. Do you know that children get difficulties during the holiday and the parents do not even discover? It's only until the children go back to school that the teacher realizes there's a problem with this child.
Yeah. So the relationship is not that good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe part of one of the things that will be achieved by this is bonding, even interaction.
Well, and that has been said by Emma from Thika. Thank you so much for your response. You're saying that's a very educative program. My take is that CBC will bring about bonding, something that is lacking in today's parenting.
Yes.
Okay, but we must agree on something, Joyce.
Yes.
That there are some people who are against the CBC, the new curriculum.
Yes.
And I'll start by the NAT department. And basically, my thinking is because they're thinking about the teachers. Are the teachers ready for the CBC? Have they gone through enough training to make sure that they pass that knowledge to the pupils?
You know, in life, you cannot be prepared fully to undertake a project.
Yeah.
If a lady says, the day I'll wait until I'm prepared to get married, they will never get married. A man will not get married if he waits to be prepared to get married.
Okay.
You cannot even get children if you say, I will wait until the day I'm prepared so that I can get children. In life, transitions comes and we learn as we go.
Okay.
And you know, unlike let me say that I was in the second 844 group, and you see, unlike then, you know, people are not so vocal. You know, the fact that now we have, you know, keyboard warriors, you know, we can fight and say many things. And then, of course, that time people are not open to air their views openly. But today, parents, teachers are getting material in real time using technology.
Okay.
We are at a better time than then when we started the 844. Just imagine how materials used to be taken to Turkana from Nairobi.
It was a hassle.
Yes.
Yes.
What about now? Real time. You know, if it is training, and I would want to, ask Kenya National Union of Teachers, who I was a member for a very long time. Let us speak the truth. Let us, engage openly and say, we are not going back to 844. That is a fact. So fighting something that has already taken off, what we are doing is that actually disadvantaging the children.
Okay.
Because I believe every holiday, the government organizes training for teachers, and I've been to schools where teachers are very positive about CBC. and you can see there's progress and a lot of it. You know, teachers are going for the training, and you know they are coming and teaching each other. They're having sessions with one another, and they're happy. Everybody's happy. You know, of course not everybody's happy. Let me counter my argument. But I mean, at the end of the day, the learner will be at a better place.
Okay.
Yes.
We have someone who texted in through the SMS line, through the WhatsApp platform, and literally they are against this. So through the messages that they sent in through the WhatsApp platform, and your number is ending with 507, clearly he's not for the idea that these schools are on the same level, talking about now the transition from primary school to secondary school, what is happening right now. And they're saying, with the current issue of corruption in our cases, we need to find solutions and not sweep it under the carpet, which has been happening for quite some time.
Sure.
Yeah. And this is a concern that he's raising, and also saying that, and let me just read through this, be positive and appreciate there are thousands of parents who resigned from high careers to take care of children. To wholesome condemn parents is being an Elijah, saying that I'm the one left out. So clearly, he's pointing out, and from what I'm getting, he really needs some more convincing when it comes to the CBC.
Okay. I've been a teacher for 23 years, mainly teaching 844.
Yeah.
And do you know that most people you find out there hanging out have diplomas, have degrees, have certificates. But when you ask them what they can do, they can't answer.
Okay.
Somebody will just give you certificates.
Papers.
But ask them, what can you do? And where we are going to the world is not what you know. It's not the certificates. It's what can you do? To me, that is it about CVC. Even if everything else, to me, that core is very, very important.
Okay.
That we are thinking about this person and building their skills. We may not be perfect. By the way, I keep on saying that perfection is just a good word in the dictionary.
Yeah.
We can never get there. But if we are positive,
Positivity.
Yes, positivity.
Okay.
And for example, something like digital literacy. People keep saying, oh, how do we go about that? But do you know that student in Turkana who got a university admission got his letter online? What if we said, oh, there are people in Turkana, there are people in Northeastern, how will they, apply for driving license on e-citizen?
So we just need to be flexible and positive.
Yes, we need to be flexible and positive, because that is it. That is the way the world is going. I've just said that some companies, including Google, they have dropped graduate as a minimum requirement for hiring.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
They need skills. Tangible skills. Okay.
And not just that, they not only need technical skills. Here we are talking about soft skills.
All right.
Yes.
So the lady for the 4-year-old, we have answered that, Judy from Kitengela, and we said that it is expensive, yes.
Yes.
But we need to be flexible.
Yes.
And about the 5-year-old, we say that as much as amechelewa, but she can still pick up.
Yes, sure.
And the curriculum allows that.
Sure.
All right. I cannot live without answering this question.
Yes.
Kindly comment on parents who have taken their children to a boarding school. Are the children disadvantaged?
Wow. Let me say something about boarding schools. Some circumstances force parents to take their children to boarding schools. But, when you think about the overall effect, and this is my opinion, I find, when my children were younger, I would go to their schools and find children in nursery school in boarding. And that child has not adjusted to a point where he does not need individualized attention.
Okay.
And then you take him to a situation where he or she cannot get that individualized attention because there are so many of them. So in essence, this is an individual choice, but I would think that they may be disadvantaged. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And this curriculum only goes up to grade 4. I think that during that age, that is still a small kid. It would be better to stay
Yes,
with the
with the
kids,
children.
even for parenting cases and bonding
Sure,
cases.
yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
These are our children. These are our children. We'll be with them for the rest of our lives. I mean, let us attach a value to them and say, okay, fine. You know, sometimes you get this good opportunity that is taking you away from the family. But when all is said and done, what is, now to think about, we need to think about the values.
All right.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, according to Joyce,
Yes.
the new curriculum is a good one.
It's a good one.
Okay.
It may have teething problems, just like any transitions, but let us be positive. Let us support the government. And I'll be talking about how we can mitigate against the issues of cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming today, and thank you for educating us on this.
Yes.
May you have a good evening.
Thank you so
And
much.
parents, please make sure that you be positive and be flexible. It is here, and it is here to stay. It's only for the good of our children.
Sure.
That is my take tonight, and that is what I am leaving you. Be positive and be flexible when it comes to the education of your children. Thank you so much for tuning in today and learning with us. My name is Sarah Otieno. Have yourself a blessed evening, and I will see you tomorrow.